Hey Sagittarius, thanks for visiting and welcome back. And as I always ask you, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you would like to, only if you would like to. I don't mind if you don't. I'm just going to start your reading right now for Sagittarius. The first card you have your past is the Four of Pentacles. So yeah, obviously this man's holding on really tightly, and I think somebody wanted to hold on to you at this time, but I think maybe this was going on inside their mind. I'm seeing a lot going on inside their mind. I don't think they're around you at this time. I think they might have been acting as if they had their back to you, they weren't interested in you, or they were trying to really get on with their lives, do everything they can, fill their lives with a lot of things, but I don't think they're in contact with you either. I think they would have liked to have been in some way, but then in other ways they kind of didn't want to be. They had a lot of mixed feelings around you, but they were definitely thinking about you. Their mind was holding on to you. I think there might have been some distance happening between you, obviously, because you weren't around them at this time, but it's a bit strange. I'm not actually seeing a breakup. This was some kind of love connection, but whatever the situation was, I think, it was a really confusing situation, because I don't know, I'm just not seeing a great big breakup or any problem. Obviously there was a problem, but it might have been a drift away or something like that. I don't know, but I'm not seeing a great big breakup. But whoever this is, whatever happened or didn't happen, they definitely hadn't moved on at this time. They had you inside their heads. Even now, I think they might have you inside their head. They were definitely thinking of you. They definitely might have even felt a little bit trapped inside their heads, locked in, not able to move on. They wanted to move on, they couldn't come toward you, they couldn't go away from you, they couldn't do anything because their head was full of you. They were thinking about you. Now they were doing things, they were trying to focus on other things. I think they were trying to focus on their money, their job, other friends, everything else, but their mind would not let go of you. It was still on you, and it was a little bit like a weight sitting on top of their heads. It was very heavy, and they couldn't let go of this heaviness in their heads, like this coin sitting on top of this man's head. It's very heavy, and I don't think he'd be able to move. So I'm getting a lot of heaviness in this card, and the feeling that whoever this was wanted to move on, but it was like they had this big heavy thing on their head and they couldn't move or walk properly, that kind of thing, so they couldn't move on. The next card you have your past is Justice. So I think you might have actually been feeling this or sensing that something was coming from them, that maybe they had these feelings or they were holding on to you or something like that. I'm definitely getting some unfinished business between you that should have been finished up, rounded off, put back into balance, put back into place, like the scales on this card. But I don't think either of you did that, and that's probably why I'm not seeing, I'm not seeing a great big breakup or a conversation or an argument or anything like that. I'm only seeing a kind of a drift and something that was unfinished. Maybe you both felt hurt, maybe you both felt that you were treated badly by each other. There was a lot going on, I think, a lot going on in both of your heads that you weren't kind of revealing to each other. And I think you might have had dates with other people or even brief relationships with other people since you're with this person. But I don't think you found what you were looking for in any of these other people. Now, I'm not saying this person in the Four of Pentacles, excuse me, is the right one for you. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't give you a fright. Yeah, they might be the right one for you. They might not. I'm not seeing either way in this. But what I am seeing is a lot of heaviness. They're feeling very heavy, that they can't move on. They're still thinking about you. There's a lot of heaviness between you that should have been kind of resolved, but it was never resolved. And yeah, there's a lot of unfinished business and a lot of things that should have been weighed up or kind of measured up or kind of finished off, and they weren't, and that's probably what makes it even worse for this person, because I think if you had have had a conversation, or you had have had some kind of finishing off conversation, even an argument, anything, they would have been able to kind of move forward from this a lot easier, but it was kind of up in the air. That's what I'm seeing, this thing kind of left up in the air. So the last card you have your past is the Six of Pentacles. So yes, again, here are these scales on this card as well. So you probably felt that they might have done something unfair to you, and they might have thought the same thing about you. But yeah, again, at this time, I'm still seeing them thinking about you, holding on to you in their mind, holding on to you in their emotions. I'm also seeing a situation where I'm getting this feeling, if you may be thinking that you're in a situation that you hadn't signed up for, not literally, not that you'd signed your name on anything, maybe you did. And this wasn't it, well, it kind of was a huge thing. It was on your mind and it was bothering you, and I think this might be something to do with work. I think you might have trained in something or something like that, and where you were working, but what you trained in might not have been lining up with what you had to do in reality, and there was an unfairness around that. So I think there was a lot of work involved. I think you were working really hard, but I think you might have been feeling as if you weren't compensated for this properly, and this was a bit different from the impression that you had when you first started this job or this work, or when you were training for this. I think when you started, you were under one impression, that things would be a certain way, maybe financially and in other ways, but then as you went on in this job, it turned out to be very different. And so you're very frustrated, quite unhappy about this, and I think you'll probably be in this situation for a while, but I think you might be looking for ways to either leave and go into another job or something else, or you might go into a business or something else, or you might do something else to improve this situation or try to improve this. And I think, it's not all negative. I think you have gained a lot, you've learned a lot, you've got a lot of skills, you've got a lot of experience behind you, specialist skills maybe, and you're going to be able to carry these skills over to the next thing. So it has, excuse that, sorry about that. So it has helped you in a lot of ways, and you are going to be able to carry what you have learned into the next situation. And I'm getting this feeling that, if this resonates and you're still in this situation, take your time before you jump into anything new in a big hurry. I don't know if this was in your last reading or the one before that, but I think I'm getting this feeling that you might have had this problem hanging around you for a while, and it might not have been too bad before, but now it's kind of becoming more obvious to you that this is a problem. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have your present is the Knight of Wands. So yes, again, be careful of rushing into new jobs or new opportunities out of desperation. What I'm seeing is, you might be tempted to kind of jump into something just because you're really unhappy where you are, and then that might cause you to kind of jump into just any old thing, and then you're just as unhappy or maybe even worse. And I don't want to lecture anyone, but I'm just telling you my experience. It's never been a good experience for me when I've desperately been trying to get out of something and I've jumped into something else, because the reason for me going into the other thing, the new thing, is out of negativity. So I think even though you're not happy where you are, if this is resonating, don't jump into something because you feel bad. Go into something because you feel positive about the new thing, if that all makes sense with you. That's when things work out, I think. When you go to something for positive reasons, that's when it works out, not when you go into things for negative reasons. And I found this to be true in everything: relationships, work, friendships, and of course, it has to happen that way sometimes. I mean, if you're in a bad living situation, if you're around violence, something very terrible, of course you have to get out of things. But I'm talking about situations that aren't extreme like that. So I hope that makes sense, but yeah, just for things to work, intentions have to be positive. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry about that noise again. So yeah, the next card you have for your present is the Five of Pentacles. Yes. I'm seeing a few things in this card. I think obviously this person in the Four of Wands, this person who's still holding on to their feelings, I think they're probably going in and out of feeling like this. I don't think they're letting their sad feelings stop them from trying to move forward. Again, I've seen the same thing in the Four of Pentacles. They're trying to move forward, they're trying to do everything, get on with their lives, but they're still feeling sad. And I mean, the poor people in this card are injured, ragged, cold, but they're still going, they're still walking. So they're trying their best. It's not like they're sitting around crying on the sofa about you. They're doing everything they can to not think about you, but you're still on their mind. That's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing that in this work situation, there are some solutions there to this work problem, but for some reason you might not be able to see them at this time or something like that. I think you might be just a little bit overstressing, a little bit anxious about this whole situation. I can see why. I don't blame you. It's not a nice situation to be in. But I think this stressing and this overthinking and this worrying might be stopping you from seeing some opportunities that are in front of you. So try to kind of calm yourself down as much as you can and to let yourself open your eyes to see what's in front of you. I think there are a lot of problems in your workplace or around your workplace. I'm actually seeing the people in charge of this might be in denial of something actually. Maybe they're not keeping up with technology, it might be, or it might be that they have old or maybe irrelevant ideas about certain things that don't apply to today's kind of world or business world or whatever. You know, if you look at the people in this card, they're kind of struggling on, they're limping on, they're coming along, they're walking along, they're getting somewhere, but you know, there's a huge stained glass window and it's right above them. And it's a little bit like, to me, I'm seeing it's a little bit like a great big sign above them saying, come in, it's warm in here, you don't have to be cold outside, you can come inside. But they're walking past, they're not noticing what needs to be done. So I think whoever's in charge of this business or whatever this is, this company or whoever, they're a bit out of touch. They know that they have to make changes in the business. They know they have to do things, but they're not doing it. They're just going along. They might even have broken equipment, or they might have things that they kind of plaster over, but they never actually fix the core of what's going on. You know, they're kind of limping along. And I think that's going to be a problem with them, because you can only do that for a certain amount of time before things start to kind of go wrong, and they already are going wrong. You're dissatisfied, and I think a lot of people who work there are as well. Yes, so here we are, the Tower. That's the last card you have for your present, the Tower. So yes, I think this is what's going to happen to this company or this business or whatever eventually. I think if they don't keep up with things, if they keep on going the way they're going, there's going to be some kind of collapse or some kind of downturn or some terrible problem. They're going to lose money, they're going to lose things, lose people. It's going to be a disaster, I think. And I think you can see that. I think a lot of people in the company can see that, but I think the people who are in charge are just kind of limping along and they don't want to see what's in front of them, which is what I was seeing in the Five of Pentacles. So I'm not seeing this big collapse or this problem happening right away, but this is probably a bit of a message to you, showing you that, you know, you are doing the right thing by thinking about these other options outside of this workplace. Again, don't rush. I'm not seeing this happening right away or soon. This is a gradual build up to this collapse, I think. But keep on looking for those solutions, keep on looking for things. There's one specific thing around you. I don't know whether it's right or not. I think there are probably some others as well. But keep on searching until you find the exact right thing for you. It is going to be out there. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your future is the Sun. So this is a beautiful card. I think you will see the right opportunity. I think you'll take this up, and obviously this is the Sun card, so it won't just be any opportunity. It's going to be the right one, the perfect one, the positive one, the best one for you that you'll see. And I think you'll probably go through a time of feeling a bit lost before this comes up. I think it might even get to the stage where you might even feel like leaving, just jumping ship and getting out of that. But you won't do that. I think you'll probably come very close. but then there'll be some kind of a breakthrough, like the child on this card's broken through this wall that's behind it. So I think, you know, this child's had to overcome some kind of a roadblock to be able to kind of come out the other side. And you know, if this is all resonating with you and you're going through this right now, this feeling that nothing will ever change, nothing will get better, this is in your future, this is going to happen, and it will get better, it will change. You have the sun, the sun's going to come up. You're going to see the right opportunity. It's going to come up at the right time. So please don't despair, and please don't jump ship, and please don't jump into the wrong thing. Use your instincts, use your feelings. How do you feel about this opportunity? Does it feel perfect for you, or are there problems around it? Or are you just jumping out of something because you don't want to be in that? Really think very carefully, and yeah, again, use your instincts. They're the most important indicator of whether you should do something or not. That's what I think anyway. The next card you have, your future, is the Empress. So again, this is advising you, I think, to be patient, to relax, like this beautiful Empress. If you can, she's so relaxed, she's just in there. She looks like she's kind of in the most relaxing dress you can ever think of. She's in this beautiful big chair. It looks so comfortable, so she's so relaxed. So try to relax as much as you can around this job or this kind of work situation. You might even be starting a business, you might have even already started on this, but you know, whether this is a new job or business or whatever, I am seeing success around this. You know, the Empress is full of abundance. She could also be a little bit laid back though. She's not a go-getter, that's the Emperor's job. She's kind of the opposite of a go-getter actually. So I think this could be a message to you to just be aware that not everyone around you is going to work as hard as you do, and not everyone around you is going to understand that you work hard. I'll just explain what I'm seeing, why I'm saying that. I'm seeing someone around you, and they might be a family member. They might see you as so-called lucky. They might even ask you to pay for things, or even worse, they might expect you to pay for things. That's even worse than asking. And you know, you're not a mean person, you're a generous person, you're a kind person. But I think there's one thing to need help, and there's another thing to expect help. And this person, I don't think needs help. I think they're expecting help because they think that you're lucky and you just fall into the opportunities you have and you don't do much. The opposite is actually the case. You work very hard. I can see that, and I always see that in your readings. So I think you might know who this person is because I think you might have had some money conversations with them before. But the Empress is generally a beautiful, positive card, so I don't want to turn it into something negative. But I just wanted to say that I just saw that, so just watch out for that person. But yes, the Empress is about abundance, relaxing, having everything she needs, happiness, contentedness. So this opportunity that comes in, I'm seeing the Sun card, is going to be a very good one for you if you wait for the right, perfect one, and it will come in for you. Again, I'm seeing that in the Empress card. So the last card you have, your future, is Judgment. So I think you're going to be going through some really big life changes actually, and I think these might actually be stemming from this new work or this new business or whatever this is that you're going to be doing in the Sun card. I think you're going to be feeling a lot stronger in yourself, a lot happier. And I think while you're feeling like this, while you're feeling this strength around you, this might be a good time. It's up to you, of course, but I think this might be the perfect time for you to either round things off with this person in the Four of Pentacles, have a conversation, a kind of closing conversation with them if you don't want to be with them, or if you want to be with them, you might want to open up a conversation and just very kindly and gently come toward them and start talking to them again. It's up to you, but I think there was a lot of unfinished business. There was a lot of stress around both of you in your minds around this, and I think some kind of conversation, one way or another, whatever it is, will help you both to either move forward properly or get you back together, even if it's just as friends. It might not be in a relationship, it can be, it might be, but I think I think this is the right time for you to do this, because I think now at this time, when you've got all this on your mind, you've moved on, this is when they're becoming a little bit more relaxed about it. They're not as stressed about this. They're kind of moving on themselves. And I think it won't, I think if you talk to them at this time, it won't upset them. It will kind of make them feel like, okay, I need to kind of do this. I want to find out a few things. I'm going to ask a few questions, but I'm not going to yell or scream or be upset. And, you know, I'd like to tell you a few things about them as well, to kind of just finish things off or round things off, or it might start things up again. But I'm not seeing problems around this if you do open this up gently with this person. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think this would be a good thing if this happened. Obviously, this is up to you. I mean, judgment can be about forgiveness. If you don't want to do any kind of thing like that, if you don't want to get any closure, if you don't want to get forgiveness, ask forgiveness, whatever this needs to be done, I don't know, then don't do it. It's up to you. But that's what this judgment card is about. And so this would be a good time to do that. Okay, so Sagittarius, I hope this resonated. As you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you liked this reading, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment if you'd like to. Thank you so much for watching.